Alright guys, welcome back to another episode, and if you guys are watching this for the first time, welcome to the Nutty Farmer channel. I don't even know where to get started. There's so much going on. From working on equipment to field work, we're cramming everything to get everything done in the next few weeks before harvest kind of hits the shan, and we're balls to the wall on getting harvest done, sweeping, shaking, harvesting, all that kind of stuff, while still maintaining on the irrigation of the corn and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know where to get started. I really don't know where to get started. I guess we can start right here on the unloader cart. We've been working on this a little bit, been tearing this apart a little bit, just a few things here and there, and there's some things that we did tear apart last year that I guess we could show you right here. Before I show you everything, this thing's been through probably down to hell and back, especially going through a bunch of branches and orchards. The paint gets torn up, everything gets torn up on these things. So last year what we did is, so to kind of give you guys an idea of what this thing does, this is what we call an loader cart. This is an 1190C made by Flory Industries, who specifically makes equipment for almonds. Basically, this here goes behind that machine there. So the almonds get fed up underneath here. They go through the process of getting picked up with the pickup belt, get dumped on another belt, chain style belt, which is called the intermediate. And I know it's kind of dark, so it's hard to see. Let me see if I can get you all some light so you can see a little better. That basically dumps right here onto this elevator chain, which is not here right now because we got it torn out. And while it does that, there's a fan right here, which we also have completely torn apart. And that sucks up all the dirt and the debris, all the trash, and blows it out over there on the other side, which then leaves only the almonds running up the belt here. They dump in to the unloader cart, and that's basically what that does. Here's a better idea of what it looks like. So this is all torn apart. We usually have a bunch of different types of plastics and rubber sitting in here, from polyurethane all the way to having metal parts right in here. This basically all it does, picks up a windrow of almonds, takes all the debris, the dirt, the trash, the leaf, small sticks, some sticks still go up in there, and blows it all out with the fan, leaving just the nuts and some sticks going through and over. And you'll see that in later episodes, as when we show you how this is all running, when it's running during harvest season. But basically what that does, like I said, is that dumps in to this unloader cart right here. But then this unloader cart here, it's got a chain that runs down here, goes up, gets fed, and then gets dumped into another cart, which then dumps that into an elevator, which then dumps that into a semi truck. So this here, it's all hydraulically driven. This is what we call our stinger. Basically what happens is the cart will get backed up into this, and as it gets backed up into this, it'll push this down, which will then trigger the chain to roll and help start loading. And once the guy gets it full and maybe can't handle all that's in here, as soon as he pulls off, obviously it'll stop the chain. So that's all run by this here. We got our whole hydraulic system here. There's a chain that runs here that runs off of this orbit motor, then runs the chains here, which helps run this chain right here to go. But a couple things that we added last year was, the first one was these grease lines here. These do not come factory, and so what we did is we took some lines, and off of these bearings that are right here and the one on the farther end over there, ran these couple lines right here so that we don't have to climb up in all the time to get it. Basically we can get it straight to these guys right here and make it easy to get the grease gun to it, so we can grease it on a daily basis. And the other thing is, so this cart gets pulled behind a trailer. So we got a truck, it's got a trailer, the harvester goes on the trailer, then this gets pulled behind that trailer. And so one thing that we didn't have on this cart before that we added was we added some trailer lights here so that it can be seen at night and people can see what we're doing. We just got a regular 7-pin setup that we put on so we can hook it up to the trailer and at the same time hook it up to the harvester, so it's a quick connect for the harvester and a quick connect for the trailer as well. So on the back here we added a couple tail lights back here, so they run back here. We also have a floodlight here so that we could see behind us, but this one's kind of nice. So we have this one set up so we could light up with the harvester behind us, but at the same time this light, if it's hooked up to a truck, can be turned on as a reverse when the truck's going backwards. So we added that light a long time ago. We just kept it on, obviously, but we got these two lights that got added on last year. But one thing we didn't add was we didn't add any marker lights on the sides. So the trailer has marker lights, the harvester goes on, but this doesn't. So a lot of times we're pulling this at night after a long day, and so they'll see the trailer but they won't see the cart. And so we want to improve our safety just a little bit and add a couple marker lights on here. So we've built a couple brackets and I'll show you those now. We've got one bracket right here that we've already made. Instead of buying them, I just said screw it and made them. We painted them in the fluory red that the machines are. So basic, and then we screwed a couple holes, so we'll just get a little tap screws and do it. So we'll have the red one on the back here, and we did the same thing up here on the front, and I add an orange one up here. Just 3/4 inch lights is all. So what we still have to do is we got to tap these in. Still got to build the other two little brackets to put the 3/4 inch lights on, and then we got to run all the wire and the conduit to get them hooked up. So that's still one project we got to do. Next project, this old Massey Ferguson 285 tractor has a brush forks attachment, so we could put a front loader scoop or brush attachment to pick up brush. But what happened was we were loading it and, well, our tie rod broke and snapped while we were driving it, so caused a little problem when we couldn't turn this wheel. So luckily it still has an additional ram, so that made it where we were able to still get it in the shop okay. But we're waiting on this part so we can get that put together. Might have to get another 90 fitting for this line here because it looks like it's pretty bent right here. So we're gonna get that fixed too, hopefully, and then hopefully we can get that back out in the fields so we can push brush and get that all cleared out before harvest starts. Next project you just saw a few minutes ago. We've got a lot of work to do to this thing. So this thing has got to get all brand new blower housing parts, from the rubbers to metal to plastics, bolts, silicone, fan blades, you name it. We've got it all to get put in still, so there's a lot to go on that. Here we've got a bunch of different rollers that go across all through here so that the chain has something to rest on before it goes on this roller, which this roller drives this. So we still got all those to put in as well. Oh, here, let me show you this. So this is the plug we put on the back here. It's got that 7-pin plug, but that's what we hooked the motor cart into. And like I said, it'll run the running lights, it'll run the reverse lights. I'm debating on putting a hazard flasher on this machine. It doesn't have it, but I'm debating on putting one in so the lights will flash in the back if we're maybe driving it down the road, something like that. But here's all the parts to those rollers. So we've got our 3/4 bar here, which has got a 1/4 inch hole. It's on this side, which we bolt down. That's what helps it bolt down. Then in between we've got our rubber rollers. We have Schedule 40 PVC, and we've got washers that go in between every single piece So you'll have like a washer, roller, washer, pipe, washer, roller, and so on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there right now, but there's a total of 10 on here, so we got a few more to take out and get those put together. That's another project to deal with on this. And then obviously greasing up all the bearings, oil change, air filter change, all the basic other stuff that gets put into this machine. So that's our third project going on right now. Our fourth project is this guy right here. So this is another Flory Industries unit. This one is much older, no cab, it's open cab, so it's a very, very dusty job, very dirty job. But all this does, this is kind of like a hay rake, I guess is the best way to put it. So this here, it's got a blower, blows the nuts out from underneath the tree rows, and then this setup here, all this does here is take it and rakes it into a windrow. So it makes a windrow just like it would, like you would like with hay, alfalfa, stuff like that, except we're doing nuts instead. And then basically the big blue machine, the harvester, takes and picks up that windrow. So that's a project in itself right here, and we have 4 of those. Don't know if all 4 will get fixed, but for sure 3. But you can see we have problems like getting some of these rakes replaced and fixed, and these rubber fingers back here fixed. Sounds like a harvester being turned on in the background, being run by a neighbor. But as you can see, we have things like this where we lost a bearing here, bearing quit. So all this is doing is just resting on that nut right there. So that's got to get replaced and fixed. So there's a lot of things on this that have to get done, from the head here, getting all that stuff done, getting that done over there, fixing any leaks and stuff like that, and then doing all the minor oil change stuff, fuel filter, air filter, hydraulic filter, all that kind of stuff. So then our other shop project going on right now is getting the shaker fixed. So this is also another piece of harvest equipment that gets used, and as you can kind of see, it's all torn apart here. So what this does is this machine takes and drives up to the tree, it clamps together and shakes the tree really hard, knocking all the nuts to come down to the ground, which then in turn the sweeper will then sweep it and rake it into a windrow, which then the harvester will pick it up, load it in an unloader cart, which then load it, get dumped into a super cart when that gets full, and then we'll dump that down into an elevator, which will take it up into a semi truck, which will then take it to another facility that takes the hull off and the shell off and leaves just the kernel, the meat, which is what we eat, and then gets taken to a place from there to a place like this where they slice it, dice it, roast it, make almond butter, maybe even sent to a place where they make your almond milk. But yeah, that's a very, very basic, generic description of kind of everything that goes on. Yeah, that's everything that's going on right now. It's crazy busy with getting all this equipment worked on, but one thing at a time. Like I said, I'm gonna keep working on this guy right here and see what we can do to get it done so we can get it out of here and keep focusing on all the other equipment that needs to get focused on. So what I need to do is I need to cut a couple more pieces of angle iron so that we can get these 3/4 inch holes drilled through, a couple 1/4 inch-ish holes drilled in here, so we can use self-tapping screws to screw these down. So we're gonna go ahead and do that so we can get that done and get those lights set up where we want them, screw them down, and then we can run the conduit back in here, and so maybe either somewhere tap in here, or we'll bring it up through here. I'm not sure yet. The one that's gonna go right here should be pretty easy because we'll be able to mount it here and then run the conduit line right here, maybe a small piece right here, and then get it right in here with this piece, and we can tee it up on the plastic here, make it a lot easier. We'll just tap in, or we'll just run a wire in here and then run the 2 wires in here, and we'll run the 2 wires in here, and then we'll just get them hooked up in here for this light. So that's kind of the project that we're going to work on right now. Okay, so we've got our angle iron right here. We got a couple pieces out, even though I got a horrendous mess going on here on this table. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a couple pieces out of this, and we're going to cut about a 2-inch section. I don't feel like marking it, but we're going to take, and it's going to be pretty dang close. I'm not going to get it perfect. So that's actually pretty good where it's at right there. So we're going to cut that piece out, and that'll be our third bracket for our marker light. She's a little hot, a little steamy. We got our third bracket. So we're gonna do the same thing, measure it 2 inches, cut it, and then we'll be good to go. All right, here we go. And we got our second piece. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna set them in the vise, see if we can mark them, and get some holes put in them. Okay, now that we got this all cut, we're gonna take and get these all cleaned up here, get them all smoothed out. Okay, well, now that we got those all cleaned up, we're gonna take in, we're gonna go ahead and get them painted so they'll match the trailer just like the other two do. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick, get it done, get it out of the way, and then probably call it a night so we can let that dry. Okay, we'll get this one first. Quick and easy way to do that. Okay, so it's not a perfect paint job, but I think it'll do the job. We're gonna let those sit overnight, and tomorrow we'll get back to those. We'll see if we can get those mounted, get everything else mounted, the lights, everything. Hopefully have this project done tomorrow, providing I get time and don't get interrupted with anything else. So, nonetheless, we'll be back in the morning, keep this job going. Okay, so it's the next day and I haven't really gotten to do much, but we did get a little bit done on the cart, and we were able to get all these marker lights pinned up. We got these all painted, they dried up, got them done this afternoon, and just quick little pigtails. And we've got the orange here, and we've got our red one back here. I haven't quite figured out how exactly I want to run this yet. I might just run this with a conduit line back here that runs up here and fit it in somewhere in here. I'm not sure yet, but we got those two. We got the same thing on this side. We got that one drilled in and set up, and the front orange one drilled in and set up. And this one we got wired here. We got a couple pigtail plugs so that there'll be a quick connect right here, just like that, when we need to plug it in. We just ran a little conduit here just to hold it. It was a little tight right here to get these screws in, but luckily we were able to get it in. And then we just kind of ran it up because I don't think it'll hit any branches or anything, so it should be safe like that, instead of having to add a whole nother like 2-inch conduit piece just for there. But we just took it in. We'll tape it into this line, and later on I'll take and run this down through the this insulation tubing, and we'll take this apart, put it inside, and get it wired up to our park lamps and ground, and then do the same with the other 4. But that's kind of what got done today. And then another thing that I wasn't working on, but we had another guy working on, was getting this sweeper taken care of. It's still got a lot of work to do. As you can see, we kind of took everything out. We took all the time bars out. Bearings are still on there, so those will get gone through, kind of double checked, make sure none of them are bad. But one thing that did get done today, other than the bars getting new parts on them, which are inside the shop and I've got it all kind of locked up, but we did get a new bearing put in here, because now it just needs a dust cap. But we got a whole new bearing, got a new hub. Now all it needs over this, the crown nut, is, looks like it just needs a cotter pin slid through and a dust cap put on, and then that will be good to go for that. Other than just getting these time bars put back on, and I believe also the oil change got done on this thing, minus a couple air filters that just need to be put in real quick. This is what we got under the hood. It's just a basic Kubota motor. Yeah, that's kind of, for the most part, what got done today, other than the other, like I said, the parts just for this here, and that's it. So this thing is getting closer to getting ready. We'll have 3 more to go, and then obviously still the harvester has to get done. Let's go see if I think the shaker's been worked on today too. We'll go check that out. Yeah, I'd say this thing is pretty well torn apart, but this is kind of what it looks like inside. These are your controls here to help lift the boom, tilt it, shake it, do all that kind of stuff. This is probably what this is about what your cab view would be right here when you're driving the thing. So that's what you see out there in the front. Then obviously turn your head back, and that's kind of what you see behind you and to your side. The hood is up there, so that's kind of making it a little tough to see back there. But yeah, that's kind of your view from this shaker here while you're driving it. We got our motor here. This is a John Deere motor. I think eventually, don't know when, but I think eventually we're gonna put in a master disconnect battery switch in here, just for safety. So these are our sweeps, and basically what these do is these spin while the shaker is in motion, so, or moving in forward or reverse, so that it keeps the nuts from getting ran over by the tires. So every single tire has this. So it's got one on the back, one on the front, and the same thing on the 2 front tires. We got one on the back, one on the front, and they spin and sweep all the nuts out of the way of the tires so that the tires don't run them over. So it's still probably checking that kind of stuff, making sure that all those fingers, because you can see here, they're not quite fully there. So we'll go through all these kind of fingers where they're short and replace them so that they're a little longer like this. Well, it's a new day, and we have finally got one machine like 90% done. And I say that only because these guys here still got to get changed out, these flaps here, but we're waiting for those to get back in stock from the place we ordered them from, so we don't have those quite yet. But everything else has been changed. We've got new tying teeth, new fingers back in here, and they've all got new bearings put in here, so that's all good. Oil change has been done, fuel filter, all that kind of typical maintenance stuff other than greasing and fueling. So, but yeah, everything seems to be ready to go, so we'll see. But for now, we're gonna take and try to keep working on this unloader cart here, because I need to get this thing done, other than the rubbers, which I'm still waiting for on parts. So hopefully that comes in and we can get that fixed. But right now, I need to get all this wiring done. I haven't gotten very far because I've been so busy doing other stuff. I still got this light to run on this side, not including the other two on the other side. And we started working on this conduit and getting that put in, except I got interrupted, and so it kind of got a halt put on that. But we've got our wires. We have exposed our wires here, and so we're going to take and see what we can do to change this up so we can get the wires ran from here through here and into these light plugs here. Okay, so we got some done right here. We took and this is a main line coming down because it has to like go up and down and across to the front. So we took it up and down, and it ran here to these plugs that we had put in the back and across the pipe to the other one. But what we did is we changed it up. So we added this here. It's not the best looking, but we added this here and then took it, sent it through. And so now we're on this part here. We're going to take them and just run them to where they kind of fit on the end of this insulation tubing here. So it went like that. Yeah, so probably about right here roughly. So we'll cut right there. Okay, so now there's a little bit of extra pigtail stuff, so hopefully we don't end up getting branches pulling on them, but those are basically ready to go there to get hooked up and stuff. And I don't know how much I plan on getting done today, because I gotta work tonight too. Team no sleep. But this one we're gonna take and I think what I'm gonna do is, since this conduit's so far back, we'll just run just a little bit of insulation of this black insulation just right here, just so it's exposed for the pigtail to get hooked up to, make it a little easier. But from there we'll probably run another one, little short guy that goes to the corner, probably about right here roughly, so it's got a little bit, and about right here, so it's got a little bit of movement to get through. And then we'll take it from there, run it all along here, and it'll go basically to right here where the other light would be, and we'll probably run it that way. As for the one in the front, I haven't quite decided on that yet, but we'll see. Other than that, getting those two lights done. We got to get the rubbers put back under here. I'm just waiting on the right rubber to come in, because the ones that we got ordered came in and they were the wrong ones. Obviously at some point we'll test the lights, make sure that they do work. Obviously that's an important aspect. And then we'll get this chain put back on. And that chain runs from the, like I said, from this motor, kind of goes up like under and underneath here, and comes back up, runs down, and runs that way. And then this would be our adjustment to get the chain nice and tight. So hold it tight. All right, fast forward a bunch of days. I don't even know how many, but we finally got this blue machine done. We got the cart done. I'll show you that later. But right now, we got to take and get that chain up through here and up in here, run it down and hook it up down here. Other than that, that's all we have left to get this thing out in the field and get it running in about a few hours. The blower is all done. We got everything all silicone down. However, did get siliconed this morning and last night, so I don't know how long that's gonna last. It may blow some of this all out before the day is over with, so I'll have to re-silicone it again. Hopefully not, but get everything all siliconed up in here, up here on the fan blades, all that put in. We got a bunch of rubber and plastic put in on our UHMW and polyurethane. Rollers all put back on, ready to go, ready to spin and run the chain on it. So that's really all that's left on this, just to get that chain back on. So that's what we're gonna do right now, get it on so we can get it ready to go, get it out in the field. Alright, got it on. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Got our switch on here. Let's go ahead and speed up our belt. About 7.5. Get our pickup bell going too. Let's throttle it up and see what happens. Started on this plane. Our first field, so far, everything seems to be going okay at the moment. Right now, we're unloading all the nuts out of here. As you can see, we're picking up all the nuts and taking them and putting them into this cart over here, which will then unload them into an elevator, which will then dump them into a truck. So right now, you see, we're gonna go ahead, and as soon as he's emptied out this cart, or he gets full first, whichever happens, we're gonna go ahead and keep picking up and get all these windrows like this out here nice picked up. So this is what it looks like in every rows. We got a bunch of nuts and some leaf, dirt, trash, a bunch of that stuff like that kind of just gets in there, but we're gonna pick up all those windrows. So he's filled up nice and full back there, so we're gonna go ahead, back the machine up, re-clean this up so it looks a little cleaner like this out here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rev it up, make sure our belt is on. We're gonna rev it up, lower our head back down, and get going. Alright, so right now we're picking up the windrow. You see all the nuts are going up underneath here, going through the machine, and out here, where they're coming out, going into the cart nice and clean. All of our dirt, big trash, leaves, all that kind of stuff is coming out the floor over here. Alright, so we got another load again. Right now we're gonna make sure we don't have any sticks stuck in the fan that would cause any airflow blockage, but looks good so far. Belts are still running clean and good. But right now we're just emptying him out back into the cart again. He's got his augers going, pulling the nuts throughout the whole cart. that's what we're gonna keep doing. Keep picking up all these rows here, trying to get them nice and clean, get as many nuts as we possibly can off the ground.